Hello everyone, I hope everyone who's watching here today is having a great day. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Hey, part 2, and it was quick. As I mentioned in one of the comments in part 1, somebody mentioned something and I said that the video will be up now. There's a joke in South Africa where we have different interpretations for the word now and now. So this is now. So if you came here from part 1 of this video, the part 1, you would have noticed that my nails were not prepped like in the greatest way, and it was intentional. I did that on purpose. So all for the purpose of, I knew I was so not gonna be keeping these monstrosities on for a long time. No way, of course I wasn't. Okay, quickly, the reference picture showed a gash that had stitches on it but still had blood oozing out of it. So I used polygel for this nail here, and the reason for all these polygels is because I needed to build up the nails in the quickest way possible. So polygels were the best way to go. This is a simple and straightforward nail, and as I explained already in the reference picture, that what it's about. So then let me then tell you the lesson that I learned from doing this nail. The first one is the sculpting gel. You're gonna be seeing me using the sculpting gel, and working with it was not easy, especially on this day because it was a very hot day, and I was rolling it on my hand, and it didn't help that my hand was hot. Here it is. My hand was hot, and the sculpting gel kept getting stuck on. Though I was wearing gloves, it kept getting stuck on the glove. But you know, like I said, it's the heat. But almost immediately I came up with the solution. So it was a lesson that I learned, and I quickly came up with the solution. Instant lesson learned and solved. So I used the scraping tool because see, it's getting, and it gets too thin in the center, and then it's thick on the. I was just not getting the shape that I wanted. Okay, so I used the scraping tool that I had nearby that I was using for the claw, the rapture. Anyway, so I used it to roll out, and the tile that I was rolling on, it helped that it was a little on the coldish side, and it worked out pretty well very quickly. Lesson 2 was that the things that I'm making here are staples. Like they are supposed to resemble staples. So this lesson that I learned about them is gonna be only for the very, very, very distant future, because I will not be making these again, like I said, anytime soon. So the lesson that I learned about the staples, I should have made fewer staples, because when they staple a scar, like an open wound, they don't use so many staples. So to me especially, it didn't look realistic. And the second lesson that I learned is I just placed the so-called staples onto the nail, so they didn't look like they were actual to me they didn't look like staples. They just looked like things that were placed there on top of the wound. But you know, our creative imagination will make us say, oh, those are staples on the. But if I look at this properly, and because I'm very critical about my work, so I was just too much in my head and too much in my own work, thinking it shouldn't have been so many staples, number one, and they shouldn't have been this close to each other, and they shouldn't have been just laying there. Also, the lesson that I learned about when I say that they just look like they're laying there, I should have made the ends of the staples bend on the sides to make it look like they are digging into the skin. Or at least, since I had to cure these straight, I should have at least maybe put drops of blood looking like designs on the edges or on the sides of each staple to make it look like there's blood coming out of the edge of the staples. That way, I hope you get me, because I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible. Yeah, but anyway, I then went in with this silver metallic gel polish, and the mistake I made was I did not top coat them, because after a few minutes of rubbing my hands against my clothing or other things, the silver chrome gel thingy, this that I'm doing now, it faded away. Alright, I'm showing you the end of day 1. Over here is actually day 2, even though I stopped the video on the middle finger, but this video makes it look like day 2 is the pointer finger and the thumb, but day 2 was just the thumb. Okay, I know you guys have seen this almost everywhere on all the socials, so I saved the best for last. It is my favorite design of all the other nails. So let's see how I did this nail and what lesson I learned from this design. I began, as they also do, I began with the body part of the spider, starting with the biggest part of the body, which is the bum, the bum side of the spider body, and then go in with the magnet gel. I want to now start calling them magnetic gels instead of cat eye gel. Let me evolve. So I used the green one, and in most videos they use, like this one, the reference picture that I showed, they use this brownish. I don't know what color that is. I have that color, but I personally don't like it. So, but I thought this green would look a lot better on the black background. So I did the back, the middle, which is what the torso, and then now I'm doing the head of the spider. And then I take almost the same sizes of the body and of this sculpting gel, and I put it on. It gives it that 3D like look. It gives it that illusion that it's a real spider, and it's sitting there, and it's a real spider 3D. So I'm going with the smaller size, and then I'm gonna go in with the smaller bead for the head. And then after that, it's time to do the legs. This is the fun part. I enjoyed this part so much. Well, it's the attaching the legs part that I enjoyed, not this rolling part, because it was still new to me, so I wasn't sure if it was gonna work. But what I learned from the day before is that when I'm doing this, I must not touch the scraping tool, the scraper, anywhere where the sculpting gel is, because it can feel the heat. I shouldn't have done that, but yeah. I learned it towards the end of doing the set, but now I got the hang of it for future projects, that I mustn't touch I'm looking at myself battling over here. The one side was fine, the other side was not too fine, but there was no way of making this work on the one side and not on the other, so I had to separate them. I just remembered that now. Anyway, so I had to cure them like this, and then this will be for the inner legs. Would you call it that? Let me call it that, just so that you get the idea of what I'm talking about. The inner legs are gonna be the first 8 legs that are gonna be attached. You will see as I go along, but what I'm doing right now is making what shapes I'm building for the legs of the inner part of the legs of the spider. Okay, so this first one that I rolled out, I divided into 4 equal pieces, and when I attach them, I use builder gel. I stick the one side of the legs, I will call them legs, the one side of the legs onto the builder gel, and then I flash cure. And then after flash curing all of them in place, I do a full 60-second cure in a big lamp. And don't worry about them being this long, this big, but it's more for convenience to hold on to them or to be able to cure them. And then afterwards you go in and you can just cut them down to a smaller size, as you will see. So remember I said 8 small sizes, so 4 go in the front and 4 go in the back. So it is supposed to be 4, 8. Yeah, they have 8 legs. They have 8 legs. Yeah, so but what I do to the one side, I do the exact same way on the other side. I know I know that it shouldn't be perfect, but you know, for the way it will look at the end, you just have to, you know, make them look the same. Anyway, this is, I just molded and cured for the lower part of the legs. So these are the 8 inner legs, and then they're gonna bend into the outer ones. So here I am, I'm cutting them down to be smaller so that they can accommodate the longer legs that are gonna be coming out on the sides. And then I go in again with the builder gel. This time I make sure that I first coat the initial leg, the smaller leg, so that it can attach nicely onto the second part of the leg, or the second leg. I don't know how to explain stuff, guys. I mean, you by now you must have figured that out. You're always smarter than that. Anyway, so you just place them where you want them to be in the final position, and then you can still come back again and, you know, glue them onto the nail. But the way I had cured them, they were sitting perfectly where I wanted them to sit. They are the first 4, and then I'm gonna do the last 4. So the last 2 legs gave me beans because I think they were just too long, yet I wanted them there. So I was kind of struggling as to how am I gonna place them, because I didn't want them to go too much over the nail, but I also didn't want them, look at this one. I was even trying to be all fancy and like maybe its leg is facing that way because it had just turned and it's but I'm like, it will be the only leg facing the most awkward direction. What can I do? And I'm like, what can I do? Then I realized, wait, I can just cure put it against the nail where I want it to end up, and then whatever excess is sticking out, I can just cut them up with the scissors and into size, you know, to fit the proper to fit properly on the nail. So I'm cutting all of them to fit properly and nicely, and I wasn't gonna glue them on as I put top coat. I felt that's where they will be sticking to each other. Right, this is the end. I am just painting the legs with this cat eye magnetic gel color, which is brown. It's a perfect brown. I could have used any other color, but I don't have this brown, and I wanted the legs to be more realistic and have this brown. Okay, that's it for now. I hope you guys loved this whole set, and I know I did, though I won't make them anytime soon because they were so exhausting, time consuming, and oh no, they took a lot out of me. So until we meet here again, guys, let me know what you thought about this. I hope you enjoyed them and you loved them and you've learned a couple of things from here, or as you were watching me, you were going, no, don't do that. If it was me, I would have done it this way, and I think I'm going to do it, but I'm also going to do it this way. I'm not going to do it that. So I hope I could have helped also in some way, and I made you aware of something that you weren't aware of. And to everyone, I hope you stay safe, and I hope you are safe wherever you are, you and your loved ones and your families, wherever you are. Okay, guys, let's end with the fun fact. Another animal fun fact. The placement of a donkey's eyes helps it to see all its feet. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Goodbye. Take care. Subscribe.